A Fox News alert carried a familiar yet high-stakes setting on Sunday evening as President Donald Trump stopped to address reporters after returning from the US Open. Standing on the tarmac at Joint Base Andrews, the president fielded questions that spanned everything from American industry and immigration to Ukraine, Russia, Chicago's crime and the Gaza crisis. His answers blended policy reflections, blunt assessments and promises of quick solutions, all delivered in his trademark mix of candor and self-assurance. President Trump began by speaking about the challenges of rebuilding American industries, particularly those involving advanced technology. He explained that certain sectors had vanished over the years, leaving the United States with critical gaps in expertise. Trump said, when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people to do complex things, whether it's battery manufacturing or computer manufacturing or building ships. He added that allowing foreign experts temporary entry to help train Americans was one option under review. For Trump, reviving domestic capacity was not simply about jobs, but about national resilience. The way you train people is bring people in that know what they're doing and let them stay for a little while and help, he explained. Questions quickly shifted toward international relations, specifically ties with South Korea. Trump dismissed speculation of strain, reaffirming the bond between Washington and Seoul. We have a great relationship with South Korea, really good relationship. You know, we just made a trade deal, he noted, adding that he understood concerns but saw no crisis looming. Reporters then pivoted to a lighter topic, Trump's appearance at the US Open earlier in the day. The president, once a frequent spectator at the event in his native New York, reflected warmly on the experience. The two players have unbelievable talent. It just seemed that they hit the ball harder than I've ever seen before. Incredible talent, and I enjoyed it, Trump said. He acknowledged being unsure how the traditionally progressive-leaning crowd would react, but added, they were really nice. The fans were really nice. The fans were great. The mood quickly darkened as Trump was asked about Russia's major attack on Ukraine over the weekend. Known for often boasting of his ties with Vladimir Putin, Trump struck a different note this time. He insisted, nobody was tougher in Russia than me. That has to do with the pipeline, as you know, Nord Stream 2 and lots of other things. But I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy about the whole situation, Trump cited staggering human losses. They're losing now, I used to tell you, 5,000. They're losing 7,000 between Ukraine and Russia, 7,000 soldiers every single week. It's such a horrible waste of humanity, he said. Despite the grim numbers, Trump remained confident. I think it's going to get settled. I settled 7 wars. This, I would have said, would have been maybe the easiest one to settle of all. But with war, you never know what you're getting, he explained, adding that while disappointed in Putin, he still believed peace could be reached. When pressed on the biggest obstacle to a peace deal, Trump said discussions with European leaders were underway. Certain European leaders are coming over to our country on Monday or Tuesday. I think we're going to get that settled. I think we're going to get it settled. He emphasized that the scale of casualties made a settlement unavoidable. When they're losing 5,000 to 7,000 soldiers a week for no reason, you have to get a settlement, he said. Drawing parallels to past conflicts in Rwanda and the Congo that he claimed to have helped resolve, Trump stressed that even impossible wars could be ended. The conversation turned to domestic politics, with a reporter asking about revelations of presidential pardons allegedly signed with an Autopen. Trump seized on the issue. He declared, I think the Autopen is one of the great scandals of our time. The Autopen was our president. Or to put it a different way, whoever operated the Autopen was our president. It's not allowed. It's just not allowed. He accused congressional investigators of destroying evidence and shifting blame. They burned everything. They got rid of everything. There's absolutely nothing there. It's all gone. And that was based on an Autopen, he charged, calling the matter a tremendous scandal. Domestic security was another recurring theme. Reporters asked about crime after a disturbing stabbing on a Charlotte light rail. Trump promised to review details, but quickly broadened his response to urban crime, comparing Washington, D.C. to Chicago. He boasted that Washington had been transformed under his leadership. D.C. now is 100%, and I don't want to say 100, but it's pretty close to 100% healthy, happy, thriving. It's a crime-free zone, he asserted. Over a period of 12 days that we had the crime just about solved. Chicago, by contrast, he described as plagued by violence. Chicago last week lost 9 people were killed and 28 people were shot. The week before was 7 people were killed and 37 people were shot. Chicago is a very dangerous place, and we have a governor that doesn't care about crime, Trump said, adding that a decision on federal action would come soon. He also promised cosmetic improvements to Washington, from roads to decades-old signs, pledging within a 6-month period it'll look really beautiful. Reporters turned to the Gaza conflict and hostage crisis. Trump said efforts were underway to strike a deal. I think we're going to have a deal on Gaza very soon. It's a problem we want to solve for the Middle East, for Israel, for everybody, but it's a problem we're going to get done, he stated. On hostages, he acknowledged grim realities. They have hostages. It could be a little bit less than 20, but we have, let's say, 20 people, and we have about 38 bodies, Trump explained. Still, he expressed confidence. I think we're going to get them all. Trump also reacted to news of the Japanese Prime Minister's resignation, saying, I was surprised because I knew him, I liked him, and I found him to be a very nice man, actually. We dealt very well together. When asked about potential travel to Asia, he was non-committal. Maybe. I mean, we'll see, Trump said of a South Korea trip. On domestic economics, the president acknowledged the strain of rising beef prices, but he argued his policies would reverse the trend. Once our policies kick in, the price of beef will be going down, just like the price of eggs went down. Energy has gone way down. The price of gasoline, I think you'll be hitting $2 very soon, he promised. The conversation circled back to Russia and personal diplomacy. Asked whether the First Lady still harbored reservations about Putin, Trump replied, the First Lady actually got along great with Putin, as I did. But, you know, we're disappointed. Both of us are disappointed that this ridiculous war continues. He added that she felt especially strongly about children caught in the conflict. She's felt very strongly about the children. Yeah, feels very badly about it, he said. As the press conference wound down, Trump once again returned to his theme of quick, bold action. Whether speaking of peace negotiations abroad or crime crackdowns at home, he repeatedly promised swift resolutions, often pointing to his record of what he described as 7 successful war settlements. Look, we're going to get it done. The Russia-Ukraine situation, we're going to get it done. I have confidence we're going to get it done, he said firmly before boarding his vehicle. The event ended with Trump thanking the assembled reporters, leaving behind a mixture of bold assurances, sharp critiques, and pledges of near-term breakthroughs, the hallmarks of his political style.